Am I
Yeah, we're on now.
on? Awesome.
As I fell off my chair.
Uh,
And welcome to 13 and 1. And I'm your host, Francis Veltri. And this is the talk show that's like a game show, but there are no prizes. So
what?
I know. I should make that more clear to people.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's
People
my
are
coffee mug?
like, yeah, we don't have any prize. We have no money. I mean, I've spent all the money on that intro, which was for free by Charlie Fleming. Thank you very much, Charlie. Yeah, this is another exciting episode of 13 and 1. And guess what we have? We have Candy Merritt, a ghost hunter. This is our Halloweenish specialist.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's very scary already. Don't feel like you have to turn the YouTube channel off because it's going to get too scary. This is a friendly ghost hunting experience. But Candy, could you tell me a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself, and tell me a little bit about what you do as a ghost hunter or where you do
Well, well, all right. So thank you for having me. It is definitely an honor. I appreciate that. I'm excited to be here. So I have I've been born and raised in the city of Chicago. And from a young time, I've had personal experiences with some spirits and ghosts and some vivid dreams, and kind of made me curious about the other side of the world. And so that's what got me into ghost hunting. So I'm here today to talk a little bit to you about that, Francis.
And again, we're not starting. Remember, the game is, or the show is, I ask you 13 questions and then you ask me one. Okay.
Yes,
But before we
uh-huh.
start that, I think that it's only fair to say you are in a group of ghost hunters. You're like the Van Helsings
Yes.
in the
And
Midwest.
so my group consists of myself and my cousin's wife. And we slowly incorporate some of our friends who have interests in going with us on some of these ghost hunts because, with social media, we are able to post some of our ghost hunting live, and it just, it inspires people. They're like, oh, I want to go and check that out. So we occasionally will bring people along with us, and we are working on putting our own group together. So we're excited about that.
Nice. You know what? Just talking to you for like 30 seconds, I have like 30 more questions than the 13 that I have as I try to. You know what? Since we started this episode, I have this probably a spirit from another world, also known as a fruit fly, bothering me. So, but I'm gonna man on. I'm gonna just keep going.
All
I'm not
right.
gonna let it get to me.
Hey, and I'm getting a sense from that fly. The fly's name is Harold.
Right, I think it is. I'm getting that same sense too. It's like a sixth sense, maybe a seventh sense. Um, Now I'm going to start with the number one first question is, I mean, this is the first question you ask anybody, I think, in this situation. How did you get started ghost hunting?
Yeah, so I from an early time on, and I'm talking, I probably was about 7, 8 years old,
Hmm.
where I would just get this feeling of being watched all the time and having, something around me when nobody was around me. And I would have real vivid dreams. And as I started to get a little bit older,
Hmm.
I did this one dream. I was really close with my grandmother, and the night before she passed away, I had dreamt her entire funeral.
Oh, wow.
And the dream was so vivid. When I woke up, I had to write it down because there were all these little things. I'm like, wait, burgundy curtains, my aunt Sis is sitting up in the corner, and it was just so vivid and so real. Um,
Who
so
was bitching about who at this funeral? Because that is the main thing that happens at any funeral.
it was about seat placement and who
Oh,
got
of
to
course,
sit in
yeah,
the
that's the
front
main thing.
row.
Who gets the orchestra pit area?
Yes,
It's very
yes.
important. That's
So I got up that morning and I wrote it all down because I'm like, this is just weird. I'm like, I just have to write this down. I'm 13 years old at the time. And
a totally normal thing for a 13-year-old to do.
absolutely.
Totally normal.
So I get home from high school and I walk in the door. My mom's just a pretty blunt person.
Sure.
And she's like, Candy, sit down. I got to tell you something. And I'm like, Grandma Evie died. And she was like, how did you know that? I said, she came to me in a dream last night. I dreamt that I went to the funeral, and I brought out my list, and I talked to my mom about everything I had written down. And she looked at me like I was nuts and I was full of crap. And 3 days later, as we were walking into the funeral home on the north side of Chicago,
Mhm.
I was actually able to describe, it was Nelson's funeral home.
Mhm.
I think up by like Foster and somewhere up there on the north side. And we walked in, and my mother turned around, looked at me, and she said, holy shit. She's like, there's burgundy curtains. Your Aunt Sis is sitting up front. So and from that on, I've had, just a lot of experiences in my own home.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been scary at times, but I've learned how to taper it and control it.
Mhm. Mhm. So again, just this is going to be question number 2, and this is kind of follow up. Do you have, would you say they're almost like psychic experiences, or some sort of, ability to foresee the future with this? I mean, I'm not saying it's like, I mean, you're like some like Nostradamus, I'm going to predict, who's going to win the next election kind of thing. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is there some sort of like, is this happened to you since then?
Yes, yeah, actually. And I think it's something that it's a kind of a I don't want to say a power or something that I have that I could probably explore more and get more into it. But there's a little fear on my own side, so I really don't. But yes, I had another one the night before. My sister had lost a child, and that night while she was in the hospital, it- during that time, I had a dream that I was bringing a package to my deceased grandparents in their old house, and I was just looking for them, and until I brought them, I wasn't going to be settled until I brought them this package. So again, I woke up in the morning, I wrote this whole thing down. I called my aunt. I'm like, you're not going to believe this. I'm like, you gotta listen to my dream. And about an hour later, my mother calls me again. She's like, sit down. I got to tell you something. I'm like, all right, who died? And then that, which is a really sad story. But in
Sure.
one sense, for me, it was a little comforting too.
Mhm.
But but yeah, and then I've just had, where, I don't get those often. So when I do have those dreams, I usually get up and I write them down, and it does kind of reference something, but that doesn't come too often.
Mhm.
But I do feel things around me, and I am a little sensitive. I
Mhm.
kind of shut it off a little. I'll tell you one more story before we move on.
Oh,
So
sure.
again,
I just want to tell you though that I too am sensitive. Mostly,
okay.
I'm a little sensitive about my weight.
Oh,
So, like, so yeah, if a ghost wants to get to me, they could just say I'm kind of, hey, I think you're adding a couple of pounds there, Francis. And I'd be like, "Ooh." Yeah.
oh, well, I know that too well.
I think everybody looks great. You look great.
Yeah. Well, what really made it sink in one day, I was supposed to spend a night. I was in high school. I'm spending a night by my girlfriend Athena's house, my Greek friend, and it was shortly after my grandmother's passing.
Okay, so
And
this is 13. You're 13 years old.
I'm 13 at this time.
Okay.
And so I'm getting ready to walk into the threshold of the house, and the mother comes over to me and she's like, "You cannot come in here." And I was like, "Oh." I'm like, "Okay." I'm like, "I'll take off my shoes." Maybe I didn't take off my shoes fast enough. She's like, "You see dead people. You can't come into my house." She's like, "The spirits are all around you."
Ooh.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of
And
interesting.
this is before the movie Sixth Sense.
Yes.
Wow, using the
Yes.
catchphrase and everything. Whoa.
I know.
That
I
I find
know.
more impressive.
No,
Athena, awesome.
absolutely. Yeah. Eventually, after her mom threw some holy water on me, she let me come into the house.
You know what? My grandmother did the same thing to me. Italian grandmother always did that.
Yeah.
My Italian grandmother also used to have saints like up on a bureau that
Okay.
she could pray to or ask things of. And if she didn't get what she wanted, she would take those saints down from the bureau and throw them in the drawer and pull out a new saint. So there was like the major league of saints on the top of the bureau, and then AAA was in the top drawer, and she would threaten them. You're going into the bottom of drawer. That's my grandma. So,
I
so
love that. My aunt, whatever you needed to pray for, all you had to do was call her and say, which saint do I need to pray to for
Oh,
this?
that is more of a superpower.
It is, yes.
No, my only I once had a premonition that I was supposed to go play blackjack, and
Okay.
I thought that meant I was going to win, but obviously the premonition was to go to play blackjack to lose $1,000.
Oh, there you go. Maybe
I
it
was like,
was
how
do
am I
not
losing?
go
I
and
had a
play.
premonition. What is going on?
Was
Yeah,
there
and you
anyone
think
throwing
I'm kidding. The
dollars
worst
at
part
you?
is you think I'm kidding. Oh, I think I'm getting some. I'm gonna go play some blackjack. Anyway, okay. I don't know. Yeah, it is weird though when you can sense something like that. That is a gift. Um, Now, what are some other types of what are some ways that people get into ghost hunting?
A lot of it is by personal experience,
Okay.
where they've had something big happen to them, or the biggest thing is the TV shows too now.
Hmm.
You got Ghost Adventures and these kindred spirits, and they have all this, fun equipment, and they're capturing some things. Now, whether you choose to believe it or not, I think is personally, if you've experienced something like that, you might be more open to it. But some of them are still fun to watch anyway. So, but I think that's really what has gathered. It's made this explode.
Sure.
Actually,
The show I liked that I thought again, I'm not a professional, okay, but I like that Paranormal State, the
oh
that
yeah,
state guys that they seemed at least did a good job in making it seem like they were, you know, kind of legit. I don't. I liked the concept that they'd have the psychic come into the place, and
yes,
do the
yeah,
kind of thing. I thought that was always a good thing.
yeah. I used to watch that. I think those guys were out of Pennsylvania. They were
Yeah, they were
students.
right.
Yeah,
I think the
yeah,
idea was it was Penn State. So they called it Paranormal State. So
yes,
Penn State
yeah.
in the middle of central Pennsylvania, and so your ghost group is located. You do the Midwest.
Pretty much, yeah. We're all through Illinois. Alton, Illinois is a big hot spot.
What is that? Is there like a gateway? Maybe a really haunted Jewel Osco there.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, it's
There are many different
there's
hotels.
old apparitions just walking around the Julasco. The shop for those people that don't know what a Julasco is, because it's a supermarket.
Yeah. Well, it's just some of these older towns that have a lot of history.
Sure.
In Alton, there's the Mineral Springs Hotel. I think it's Oakville, Illinois. We had gone out to, and people would come there, and we're talking back in the late 1800s, 1900s, and just go and take a bath in these mineral springs because they thought it was going to, make them live forever. And then we've been throughout Indiana. It's been a big hot spot for us.
Sure.
I just
I
booked
know
a
that
ghost hunt.
personally. I know that personally. Living in the crossroads of Satan's backyard.
Yes, you are. I just booked a ghost hunt for Winchester, Indiana.
I don't even know where that is.
Yeah, it's I don't know, about 3.5 miles east of you. I would say 3.5 hours. I'm sorry,
3.5 miles. I'm like, I'm
east of
there.
you. Yeah,
3.5
no, it's
hours, that's
closer
it.
to Columbus, or Fort Wayne-ish, I want to say.
Okay.
But there's a lot of stuff out there. In Ohio, we've been to
Oh my God.
Ohio.
Ohio is filled with the possessed. It is.
Oh,
Oh my God. I mean, just have you ever driven in Ohio? Do you see how they drive in that place?
oh
I
yes,
swear to
yes.
God, it's zombies driving in Ohio.
No, it is
Um,
definitely it is different. You'd think it's a, I don't know, slow-paced New York.
no. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Don't even have anything for that. I don't even know. I don't even know how to do that one. Um,
Iowa, we've been to Iowa.
oh
Yeah,
wow.
we have really traveled around. We're looking for places in Wisconsin and Michigan.
Wait, okay,
So,
okay, this is not an official question. This is more of I'm gonna have you drop some info. Um, if I have a ghost problem, I mean, I'm trying to avoid any Ghostbuster kind of like who am I gonna call? But how do I get in touch with the ghost ladies the ghost, whatever, because you don't have a name yet, right?
Yeah, we are currently working on our name.
Okay, I don't want to give out any like potential names because somebody could steal it. Whatever.
Yes. Yeah, we don't want that,
No, no.
especially if we're, going to get ready to get going on our business here. We don't want any
Right.
of that.
But
But no, you can contact me. My email is candymerritt@yahoo.com.
okay, so just
Yeah,
straight
and
up
it's
there and
straight up, yeah,
should I put
CandyMerritt.
anything in the subject line? Like not porn, something that's
Don't put in the subject line webcam video.
yeah, don't do that. Do not do that. Do not also put in the subject line. I will release these videos if you don't pay me $1,000 in Bitcoin.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because that gets right into the folder.
Oh, maybe I should start collecting Bitcoin though. Maybe that'll help us with our
Maybe
business.
you should get paid in Bitcoin by.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean,
Yeah.
because
We have done blessings on houses. I have
what is
been,
it, like
yes.
rosemary, or what do you put on home?
Sage.
Sage.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Even I know that because I watch some of that stuff. But
Oh, see, yes. Yeah.
so let me ask you this: do you really hunt ghosts? This is question number 4. Do you really hunt ghosts, or are you searching for ghosts?
We are searching for ghosts. We are not out trying to, capture them in some type of contraption. We are out. Yeah, we are just out, in, their environment which would have been, I don't know, 50 years ago, 10 years ago, 100 years ago, just trying to capture some type of evidence to confirm that they do exist out there. So we search.
Okay, so it's more like it's like an episode of In Search Of more than an episode of Ghostbusters.
Correct. Yeah, we're not out there looking to get slimed or.
Okay, this is question number 5. Sorry, I'm kind of going off script here.
You're good.
Question number 5. This is are there companies that will hunt ghosts?
Yeah. No, there are many paranormal groups out there that will come to your house and will do a full-on investigation.
Okay.
So we haven't gotten that far into our paranormal investigations. However, if somebody came to us and said, "Hey, you want to come and check this place? Check out my house. It's really haunted." We are definitely up for it. But there are a lot of groups that we've come across that do this. Are out there almost every weekend. Checking out different houses and travel quite far to do this too. And have helped people as well.
Okay, this is this is a follow-up question to that one, so I'm not gonna
Okay.
do you, in your ghost searching business, could you use an attorney at all to interact with the ghost? So you would say, we need the ghost to leave this house, and I would present that to the ghost or whatever demon, whatever, and then we would probably have some sort of negotiation and then come back to you. Is there any need for that attorney to the afterworld? Is that a newer field for legal involvement?
Well, I think on a pro bono case.
Well, I mean, no, I think the ghost has to pay.
But
Clearly.
hey, absolutely, and maybe that's where you can get the Bitcoin from.
Right.
But here's the thing, to be very honest with you, I've been to several courthouses that are haunted.
Oh, sure. Oh my God. Have you ever been around attorneys? Candy, I know you have. They will not leave you alone. They'll just keep talking.
Yeah.
That's all these ghosts are doing. They're probably just like, "Oh, let me tell you about a case I had in 1875. Oh,
see?
You're like,
this is why I think your expertise.
You're like, I gotta go. Really interesting, Jebediah Hartwick Esquire, but I gotta run.
See, if we brought you along though, they might find a connection with you because, you're here. We are bringing you to the courthouse and have you start talking, and then, these other people are like, "Oh, this is what my life used to be like 100 years ago," and then they start talking.
Yeah, like, "Oh, could you go back? We're done. We're done." Yeah.
Funniest story though, because
Okay.
you and I work together
Sure,
and
sure.
yeah, insurance and
Sure.
that.
Sure.
And I have been to a courthouse um where we were allowed in all the judges' chambers with their paperwork stacked as high as this. And I'm thinking from an insurance perspective, like, ooh, there's a lot of information in that stuff. And they let us in, they unplug all the security. As you have to walk through the security, they're like, oh, wait, you guys don't need this. Let me unplug it. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, no, we're not planning anything in here.
No, it's just always one of those things with attorneys and judges too. But it's like, who are most likely not to have a contract with somebody? Snow removal companies
Yes,
and attorneys. Two most
absolutely.
likely not to have a contract with the other person. Most likely.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, those I would probably. People like snow removal companies. Why is that even funny? Well, I'm just telling you, snow removal companies never have a contract when they should.
No,
Never.
absolutely. Boy,
Never.
that could be a whole other show now,
That
couldn't it?
could be. That could be. And maybe we should contact the afterworld. What's one thing you would change? I would have had a contract with my snow removal company. Okay. Well, see. Okay, we're gonna go to question number 6.
Okay.
What is the scariest search or ghost hunt you've ever been on?
Ooh. Oh, well, that was in again Winchester, Indiana, out
Whoa,
at
this is like the hotbed.
I'm telling you, Indiana is all those ghosts
Yeah.
out there.
My neighbors. Oh my God. Yeah, absolutely.
So it was at
Tell
the
me, preaching to the choir here, sister.
So this ghost search or hunt was at the Randolph Infirmary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and basically it saw everything in its day. That's where you sent out all the the insane people. It was a poor farm, and there was some Union soldier activity at some point there. I mean, it kind of seen the whole gambit of what we come across in the last 100 years. So that was the scariest because there are these deep basements with lots of doors, and they could just the basement keeps going on forever. You just don't know what's going to come out come out from behind the door. So it's kind of scary in that nature. But what happened actually is when we were going to bed, because we sleep in a lot of these places.
Oh, get
Yes.
the hell out of here. No.
So
Yeah.
so
I don't even like to sleep in a Motel 6.
yeah.
Well,
I'll tell you, Motel 6 is definitely better because most of this time we're sleeping along these asbestos tile flooring and
yeah, I wonder why they died. I have no idea. No idea.
Peeling.
There's like lead paint dripping on you with asbestos covering. I have no idea why they died. I have no idea. I better go down to the courthouse and figure out how these people died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we just put a little blow up mattress right there, and then we just bring some sleeping bags and have at it for the night. But now
this is sounding better and better. What did you make, like coffee on a campfire with an iron pot, and have coffee like your cowboys in the Old West?
So funny you should say that. I do travel with the coffee pot.
Sure, hell, I would.
So I'm a Midwest gal.
A little hip blast, yeah.
Well, especially when you're ghost hunting till 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So
Yeah.
got 2 hours sleep, and then you got to drive 6 hours back through I-65. Yeah, but so I'm laying there. We're going to bed, and it's about 4 in the morning. The witching hour is usually between like 2 and 4 in the morning, by the way.
Okay.
And we're going to bed, and my cousin and I we're actually sharing an air mattress because we don't have a whole lot of room in these places. So she's in hers.
Like a single air mattress?
Actually, this was queen size.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So I thought we were getting a little too comfortable.
Although we have shared a twin bed before, but
oh well, that is some ghost hunting.
Hey, sometimes it's just all about being, it's the economical portion of our trips.
Yeah, it's like, and then for a bag of peanuts for breakfast, you're good to go.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So I'm laying there and my cousin's sleeping and I'm just starting to wander off and I look up and next to a closet door.
Mhm.
And I look up and all of a sudden I see this Union soldier standing there. And I'm sitting there like, am I dreaming? This has got to be a dream. And the next thing you know, I get this hand from my shoulder all the way down to my ankle, just slide right down me. And I look and I'm yelling, I'm like hitting my cousin, like, Chris, you gotta wake up. I'm like, did you just touch me?
Mhm.
She's like, I'm sleeping and I'm in this like REI fancy sleeping bag.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and she's like, I didn't touch you. And so for me, that was probably the scariest part for me
Yeah.
is just that physical touch and then just seeing that person standing there.
Yeah, usually for me to enjoy something like that, I have to pay like $50 to $100. That's again, why don't ghosts get jobs? I mean, there could be so many. Don't you think people would go to a haunted house with real ghosts? Or
Yes, yes,
I
yeah.
mean, I don't see. That's why I'm a little skeptical on like what actually is going on here. I'm
The
not.
missed opportunities for them.
Oh my god! And you would think somebody would have figured out how to monetize that. I mean, we're even figuring out how to monetize Facebook. Okay, you would think we would figure out how to monetize the afterlife.
Yes, I agree.
This doesn't make sense.
Bitcoin, maybe.
Bitcoin is the future. That and Dippin' Dots. And
Oh yes. Oh yeah, that took off. The future of ice cream.
yes, exactly. All right. Question number 7. This is
Okay.
number 7. Have you ever had a brush with a famous person, dead or alive? So we're not going to realm just to the afterlife, but it may be. You may have, Martha Washington or something. But have you ever had a brush with a famous person, dead or alive?
Well, I hate to disappoint on this show because I know everybody's waiting to hear it. Yes, I did, but I haven't.
Uh,
Is that sad? Yes.
well, one time, my sister was doing a seance when she was like in 8th grade. Okay. And they were calling for the ghost. And my grandmother lived with us too. So she's like 80-year-old Italian lady living with us. My sister's downstairs doing a seance with sleepover with her girlfriends, 8th grade. I'm like 10. My sister was, no, I'm like 8, 9, 10, something like that. So maybe even younger. But they started doing a seance and they called for the ghost of Martha Washington. And they said, Martha, and I'm doing my hands right now like you're in a seance. And Martha, if you're there, can you give us a sign? Well, at that same precise moment, my grandmother, who was living with us, who, she was 80 plus years old and didn't speak a lick of English. She wanted to open a bottle of Maalox. And so she hits the floor, like boom, 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 trying to open it up right near the basement door. All of my sister and her friends were all like freaked out because it was like, Martha Washington, if you're here, give us a sign. Boom, boom, boom. So I consider that a brush with greatness.
I love that. Yes.
That counts.
Absolutely.
So
We're not debunking that at all.
no. Okay, so this is question number 8. What dead famous person would you want to meet?
Oh, I'm going to have to say Elvis.
Elvis.
Elvis,
Okay.
yeah. My aunt was a huge fan of Elvis.
What would you ask Elvis a question, or would you just want like an autograph? How would you interact with him? What would you say? What would you do?
I want to know how he feels about all these Elvis impersonators that are out there.
Great question. You know what? Maybe we'll have 13 and 1, the afterlife. Instead of after dark episodes, we'll have afterlife episodes where we posit what questions would be best. And that would be number 1 question. I think that would be number 1 question to Elvis. What do you think of all these impersonators?
Yes, yeah.
Do you think he favors like the young Elvis impersonators versus the old? Like, I don't want to think I'd want to be the fat Elvis.
Right, yeah.
But
I want his top 5.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
in ascending order or descending
Yes.
order.
Yes. Yeah.
What's number
Yeah.
one?
And I want to ask him what the hell was he thinking with the whole peanut butter and banana sandwich? But
Have you ever tried one?
I did, and I didn't like it. I won't. Yeah, I gave it a shot.
Well, and
I can't
needless to
talk crap about it if I don't try it.
and
So.
that's you know what that is a motto to live by. It's not crap if you haven't tried it. I'm gonna get that as a bumper sticker. So, all right, number 9.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun. You know what? Someday I'm gonna have graphics go with this.
Yeah, there we go.
But right now we're on a shoestring budget.
And we need that audience clapping behind us.
Now this one is just a question that I have. Is there a difference between demons and ghosts?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I believe there's a difference between demons and spirits.
What
I
about
like to think of
spirits and ghosts. That's what my wife wanted to know if that's
Yes.
the same thing. I said yes.
I think no, I think everybody just references them as ghosts, but they're spirits. They're spirits that have just not left this world yet.
There's a reason why we call alcohol spirits. Is there a connection?
We can find one. Let me get a drink.
Yeah. Martha Washington.
I love that story.
Yeah, it's my grandmother.
So yeah, there is a difference. Everybody references as ghosts, but I think there's definitely a difference between demons and spirits. And you can sense that too. And that's one of the reasons why I will not, or my cousin, we in our group would never use a Ouija board, is we don't want to bring any of those bad spirits in.
Right.
Just back in April, I believe it was April or May, we had gone to the Sally House out in Kansas, which is really haunted. It's known to have some demonic entities in the basement, and we honestly felt the evil there, and we stayed away from it. So yes, there is a difference.
I can't believe you couldn't find the evil in the courthouse when you were there. You just felt spirits. That's weird.
Those damn plaintiffs' attorneys.
No. I guess that would throw off your vibe. I'm feeling demons. No, it's just a plaintiff attorney.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. That makes me laugh. Yeah, they're just doing another commercial. Shooting another commercial. Don't worry about it. All right. So most of my knowledge of ghost hunting comes from 2 sources.
Okay.
Paranormal State. Well, actually 3 sources. Paranormal State, the movie Ghostbusters, and Coast to Coast AM. 3 places.
Okay.
All right. So in Ghostbusters, and sometimes on Coast to Coast, they talk about there's use of scientific equipment to find ghosts or to talk to ghosts or to identify even like heat signatures or cold signatures or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you use any equipment?
We do, actually. We have quite a bit of equipment, and we're constantly building our equipment. I'm going to show you. This is probably my most favorite equipment. It's a little voice recorder. And we've actually been able to get some EVPs, the electronic voice transmissions on here.
Ps. Some
Thank you.
electronic voice Ps.
Ps.
Right.
Thank you. Yes. So we've had a lot of success with these. We also have a little.
I was thinking that I could do a whole show of 13 and 1 where we have EVPs.
Hey, absolutely. I don't know if I have 13 yet, but
well, I'd come up with 13 questions for the spirits or the demons. I'm not discerning. I'll talk to either. That doesn't freak me out.
Okay, that will work.
But anyway, what's the other device you have there?
Well, and I have this little spirit box, and it just kind of
what's the spirit box?
It creates white noise. Here, I'm going to turn it on and show you. It creates white noise, and the ghost can just kind of use this to put out some words to us. So it's pretty interesting. I've had it work a couple times. I'm not very successful with it. Okay.
Let's do it right now. Just ask if somebody's there.
So it's scanning a bunch of channels right now.
So do we ask the question yet?
No. So what would you like to ask?
Is there any spirits in your room or in my room, one of the rooms?
Oh, that was my mother. She said, no, go away.
She's right there, isn't she?
She might be.
That worked.
Yeah, no, we've had some success with it, and we also have this little EMF detector, which will, give us, any sense of like electric field disturbance. These lights will go up, and most of the time we're in places where there's no electricity, and we ask questions, or we'll say, "Come over here and try to make this light up different colors." See how fancy that is? Woo!
Can I use that to help my Bluetooth connection?
AKA, right? All right. And then we also have some motion sensor toys too that you can.
Oh, that's right. So
Yeah.
if there's a ghost all of a sudden,
Yeah.
walking around doing a little thing, and then do ghosts get scared by that? Because if they're from 1895, they'd have no idea what that is.
I think they get excited about it, and that's the thing. So some of the things that we talk about when we're out there trying to interact with some of these spirits is we're saying, hey, we know we have this little device, might be a little unfamiliar to you, but we kind of tell them what it is, so they're not afraid of it, that they can come by it and talk to it and touch it. Especially with our motion sensor toys, how fun is that? So especially when we do it a lot with little kids rooms that we've gone into, and we have my cousin has this cute little dog. If you touch it, it will light up. So we bring that into little kids rooms, and yeah, and we have cars to see if we can get them to move, and we have our video recorders.
You bring in like all these toys, and here's that monkey that beats its drum and freaks everybody out in the scary movies. That little monkey that plays the cymbal or beats the drum, that?
Yes.
You have to put that out, because that's like...
Well, of course. And you got to have all the creepy dolls, right?
Yeah.
You got to have all the...
Annabelle.
Yes, yeah.
Trudy.
One eye's looking here and the other one's looking there.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. So these are all great ghost hunting things to know, but here's the most important question about hunting. What do you wear to a ghost hunt?
So now I'm going to tell you my serious outfit, and then I'm going to tell you a funny story, okay?
Okay.
So we typically will just, depending, most of the time we're going places, it's in colder weather. Because who wants to ghost hunt when it's 90 degrees or 100 degrees out? Because there's no heat, there's no air conditioning. So you kind of want to do this like fall, spring, right? So it's kind of like a medium temperature.
Prime season right now.
It is prime. October is like the worst season for ghost hunting.
Worst?
The worst. I mean, the worst for actual seasoned ghost hunters and paranormal investigators.
Oh, so it's busy.
Yes, because you have all the amateurs out there trying to get in your... Yeah.
Okay, all right.
They kind of get in the way a little bit, and... So, yeah. So yeah, we just wear normal clothes and maybe some, our sweaters. We have backpacks. We have some suitcases for equipment. Funny story is my father-in-law bought me a tactical vest, because on the Ghost Adventures, one of the guys has this little vest that he puts all his equipment in. And I was saying, I want one of those so I can just whip stuff out. Where's my EVP recorder? Where's my EMF detector?
Right.
And just have it right there handsy. So he got me this tactical vest, and he got me all these little pouches for it. So
nice.
We're going to Ohio State Reformatory out in Mansfield, Ohio. And it's a huge place, huge. And I walk in wearing my tactical vest, and it was like I was the geekiest kid in the chess club in high school again. Again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, great. I come to the table. Yeah. Everybody's looking at me thinking, what a geek. But here I felt all cool, because I'm like, hang on a second. You EVP recorder?
It kind of reminds me, my mom, when she was alive, wanted a gift that she could use for her favorite hobby thing. She wanted a bingo bag. She loved to play bingo. She wanted a
Oh.
bingo bag so she could pull out her like ink dauber, her chips, her magnetic chips, everything she could have. And I couldn't find a bingo bag, but of course somebody, this is before the internet, though.
I would say
I mean,
before Amazon.
Yeah, before Amazon. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why you thinking of your tactical vest made me think of a bingo bag. That's just a non sequitur that we would need a Ouija board to figure out.
There
Okay?
you go. There you
I'm
go.
kidding. All right. So, question number 12.
Dun dun dun.
Houdini. Now, do you know the story of Houdini and seances?
Yes, yeah.
He would, after his mother died, well, before his mother died, I think he would go to seances and would try to disprove them. And he also, after his mother died, he would go to them to try to have them contact his mother, and he had worked out like a secret password with her. Now Houdini also has a password for his wife too, but before that, during Houdini's life, he would try to contact his grandmother, and nobody ever could get the right password. And then after Houdini died, his wife tried to do the same thing, and allegedly nobody has ever been able to get the right password or whatever. They had like a code word or something. Do you have a code word worked out with your spouse?
No.
Are you
No.
going to now?
He would now he's kind of the so my cousin and I often talk about, doing our own little show and bringing my husband and her husband along just to kind of make fun of us as we're going through this. So
Sure.
no, I don't imagine him ever coming back and talking to me because he's probably like, heck, I've been married to her long enough. What do I want to talk to her for in the afterlife?
Right. Well, here's the thing. I think that, I often think that my afterlife with my wife is we're going to be in two different heavens. My heaven's going to be this one where it's a 24-hour casino. And my wife.
There you go,
like,
blackjack.
Hey, he told me I had the one premonition.
Right. But I did. My aunt, my aunt knew this always. It scared me. The dreams I would have and the interactions that I would have in my house sometimes. She knew how it would frighten me. So she had said, "Well, when I pass, don't worry about it. I'm not going to come back and see you." And I'm like, "Okay." But now I kind of afterwards, I'm kind of like, "Oh man, I wish she would come back." But she does come and visit me only on special occasions. She's come for her birthday, my birthday, and she actually has had cakes for me at my birthdays, and so it's nice. It's just she's keeping the distance, but she understood. So
You know
and
what?
my uncle.
Yeah. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I'm sorry. My
No.
uncle recently passed,
Oh, I'm sorry.
and unfortunately with COVID, thank you.
Oh.
We weren't able to be. I wasn't able to be there. As my cousins were saying goodbye to their father,
Mhm.
and but my cousin's wife, who is my ghost hunting partner,
Yeah.
she was there, and I said to her, I said, "Hey," I'm like, "Chris," I said, "whisper in his ear that it's okay that he comes in and visits us and
Yeah.
talks to us." And so she did. So I'm okay with that. And we thought we had made some contact with him in April in Kansas. But we'll keep waiting for him to come up and visit us.
Yeah, the only time I try to contact my mother is when I'm at the blackjack table asking her, could she please do something to help me?
Oh, there you go. There you
So
go.
far, no reported contacts. So none. I have definite proof she is not helping me. Maybe there's like something illegal about that for ghosts to help you in casinos. I don't know.
Maybe they have like that infrared camera.
Yeah, like, can't come in. I don't know. All right. Well, guess what? We're at number 13. This is
Woo!
Woo, 13.
Wait, I get to 13, I get my prize, right?
There is no prize. This is a talk show that's like a game show with no prizes. I can't help it. We just don't get the budget.
That's
have no-
okay.
I mean, if you wanted me to send you like an envelope, I could send you an envelope with nothing in it.
I like it.
Maybe someday we'll move up to pieces of paper in the envelope. But
There
so
you
far,
go.
nothing. You got
Or
nothing.
little trophies, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I survived.
Yeah. Yeah, I
13
think
and 1.
before anything, we're gonna have T-shirts. So, okay, so this is question number 13, and this is a little seasonal, little ghostly, and I
Okay.
think you kind of alluded to this earlier, but I wanted to kind of, kind of hit home with ghost activity during Halloween and the witching hour. I mean, is there something about this time of year that makes ghosts more active, or what is that, or is that just all made up tripe that the mass media is throwing down our throats?
Well, I think it all comes down to the way the whole, the celestial system aligns with, back in the day with the witches and all that, Salem witch history and but basically no, I'm not a firm believer that there's anything special during Halloween or All Hallows Eve. So again, as someone who has had experiences and who goes out looking for experiences, I the amateurs all come out during Halloween. So yeah, so that's my feeling about October and
Okay.
ghost hunting and Halloween and all the spookiness about, and why do people even wear costumes to begin with on Halloween?
I have theories on that, but I'm not allowed to say that.
No, because that would be also
I'm not saying anything about why anybody is wearing anything anymore.
yeah.
I'm just saying I have theories, and I'm keeping it to myself.
All right.
Maybe in another
I'm okay
show.
with that too. So
Yeah. Just keep it to yours. Why you're wearing a dress for you? Just go ahead. I'm fine with it. Good on you.
yeah, and then our witching hour is usually, when things kind of quiet down in like between 1 and 4, and it seems to be for us, when we've probably had the most activity. In even my personal experiences have always happened in whether I've been sleeping or in the evening hours of my house. So I don't know what is to that, but there's something there. So I've been to a couple places where we have felt something like right off the bat, and here it is, daylight, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But typically it's most active between 1 and 4 in the morning.
Yeah, that's usually when I go up to go do my midnight potty. That's. Oh, is that a ghost? No, it's just Francis going to potty. Yeah, do you ever notice that too? That once you have kids, you call it a potty. I'm not going back to calling it like the men's room or whatever. I'm
I
still
always say potty.
potty.
Yeah, I gotta go potty. Yes, yeah.
One time in a law office, I in front of everyone said, "I'm going to go potty now," and they thought that was kind of funny. And I said, anyway, all right. So now you've done 13 questions. You've made the hard part is over for you. Now
Woo!
my hard part starts, where
Yes.
I have to answer a question from you that I don't know what it is. You're gonna just spring it on me right now and tell me a question that hopefully that doesn't get me in trouble with any organization or my wife.
Well, all right. I will keep it clean, I promise.
Okay.
This was hard for me. I'm like, you get so many questions. I only get one question.
Oh, you mean you had many questions you could have asked me?
Yes. And then I'm
We'll
thinking,
flip the script and have you on it as the host, and I'll come in and do 13.
there we go. Yes, I'd like that one day. Let's do that. Let's plan for that. And whether that's a lost episode or not, who knows?
We don't talk about the lost episode. We don't talk about that.
So
Lost.
So yes, most of you might know I know Francis from my work in our insurance world.
Because the only people watching this are the people that know us.
Hey, this might be the one that gets you recognized, okay?
Yes, as most of you know, the 4 people that watch this show 17 times each, so we can get up to like 50 views. Oh, by the way, before you give me this question, hit the subscribe button, please.
Yes,
I need
subscribe. I subscribed earlier.
Nice.
Subscribe.
So hit the subscribe button wherever that is. Please do that. I need.
Yeah. Hey, and if you
help me.
yeah,
Get off your.
help him.
Yes, help me. Help me. Help you. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
Call 1-800 dial a lawyer.
Yes, exactly.
So I couldn't figure out if I wanted to gear this question towards your professional life or
Mm,
what I've come to recently find out about your comedic life.
yes.
So what I want to know if there was one person or one individual when you were growing up that inspired you to be a comedian.
Ooh, that is a good question. And I kind of alluded to this before in another episode, but it was one of those things where, first of all, I'll kind of go back why I perform or do whatever. My sister was a dancer, and she did ballet since the time she was 5. She's 7 years older than me, so I had to spend a lot of times in a car while she was at her dance studio, and we'd go to tons of dance recitals. I've seen a ton of ballets, more ballets than most heterosexual men have seen. I've seen. I've seen the Nutcracker and actually like it, but I've seen it so many times. I like, you know what? That one dancer's not doing that, that move correctly. So, anyway, so my sister, would get a lot of attention because and so I think that my desire to be funny came from that and being a fat kid in grade school and high school. So, but the biggest influence, it would start with Jerry Lewis, who I once saw perform live in Damn Yankees, and consummate performer, then it would switch like Robin Williams, and here's like another one, just a weird one out of my annals of memory, was Phil Hartman. Actually, I always thought he was very funny, and one time I actually got to be an extra in a commercial he was shooting, and so I was like in a big crowd scene, and I got to watch him perform. I mean, so it was a commercial he was doing where he played a game show host, and he would have to run down this flight of steps. And so it's tired. It's not like I mean, he would have to run down this flight of steps, several times. And this is a long flight too, so it's probably like 25 steps because it was filled with people, so they wanted to look big and like there's a lot of people, so he had these long steps to run in. And it was like constant professional. He had to do it, I would say, 10 times, and he didn't complain. He didn't, bitch. He was like, okay, all right, and would go up the steps and then come back down again during the filming. And so, I think that I was a big fan of his, and John Belushi too. John Belushi is probably one of the bigger influences, not comedically. I think that comedically, my biggest influence, because I'm not a physical comedian like Jerry Lewis or John Belushi was. I would probably say my biggest influence would be Woody Allen.
Okay. All right. I thought you were going to say Johnny Carson.
Oh, you know what? And Johnny, I do. I think he, I mean, that's so funny. You're like psychic. You are, because that is something I've never shared with anybody. I do think he is really, and I'm not doing that to pull your leg saying, oh, you're psychic after this one. I'm serious. He is somebody who's a big influence, but I never tell anybody about that because they don't understand that he is a comedian.
Yeah.
I think they look at him just as a personality. But yeah, that's a good call on your part.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Good question.
Oh, look at that. It was great.
Look at this. Wow. I mean, we even got like a little mind meld thing going on. So awesome. Yeah. Hey, well, Candy, that's it. I'm sorry. We had this
at the end. So fun.
I know. It was a great time. We're gonna have you back. Something like I'm trying to get different. You're gonna have different type of guests. Hopefully,
I'll bring my partner.
There you go. Oh my God, that would be so awesome.
Yes,
you know what? I really, if you could, I would do this. And I'm just going to say this right now, just as a tease. I want to work it out so we do it from a ghost hunt.
Oh, okay.
So we can do this.
That.
We can do this from a ghost hunt.
Yes.
That's it. We're doing it. We're going to do a special like that. It'll be a special After Dark, Afterlife episode. We're so there. Candy, you were awesome. You're coming back again. We're going to do this again. And
thank you for having me.
Thank you for your daughter to help out your technical difficulties. And just excited to say that you'll be back. And I have to play my outro music now. It was from Charlie Fleming. Again, I always feel the need to say, hey, Charlie did this. Good job on this.
Throw the guy a bone.
What's that?
Gotta throw the guy the bone.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And don't forget, this is 13 and 1. We'll have another episode soon. Hit the subscribe button, like us, share it with your friends. If they're good friends, they'll appreciate it. If they're bad friends, who cares? Just make them watch it.
Subscribe.
Thanks again. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.